Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anjali Phougat podcast. Today's conversation is not just about the information, it is about remembrance. Like Swami Paramahamsa taught us that soul always knows the truth. All we need to do is be still and listen to it. Joining me today is a very special guest, Swami Aniruddha ji, a very dear disciple walking the sacred path, here to share lived wisdom, not just the borrowed words. Welcome, Aniruddha. Thank you for joining me in today's conversation. How did Swami Paramhansa explain anxiety from a spiritual lens?
Well, anxiety is when the mind gets into a stress mode. When you let your mind let the reins of the mind go free, then anxiety comes out, all the worries, fears, and fears are always connected with attachments. If you're attached to your money, then you're afraid of losing the money. If you're attached to people, then you're afraid of losing people. And when this fear becomes exaggerated, then anxiety is created. If you can't go out of that loop, then you are in a circle of an anxiety, and your life becomes quite miserable.
So, what is the best way to cope up? Like you said, attachment is the cause of fear, and it is very simple to say that be detached, but it is not easy to be detached from the worldly pleasures, money, people. What is the best way to remain joyful, be still in the moment, but still be detached with the worldly pleasures?
Well, I think the first thing is, above all, having the right knowledge. If you know that the worldly pleasures and everything in this world is temporary, then you're not getting too attached to it, because sooner or later you will have to let go of them. There's one thing which is sure for everybody, and that is death. No? So latest in death, you will leave everything here. And once you know that, then if you're intelligent, you will start to contemplate on what life really is about, who you truly are, and what the purpose of life is. And then you will find some spiritual truths about yourself and about life, about God. And once you focus more on those, then you can actually live a fulfilled life with all pleasures of this world, because spirituality is not that you can't enjoy this world. No, enjoy it to its fullest. Just don't get attached. And attachment is just have the wrong idea where true joy can be found. Enjoy life, but always knowing that what is number one, what is the most important thing in your life, that should be clear, and that is not something from this world, that is something much deeper.
Absolutely. And we all understand this on a conscious level. And when we go to Shamshan, when somebody passed away, and we look at things and we understand on the conscious level, humans are born empty handed and we leave this world. We don't take our possessions along with us. It is a soul's journey. What are the best practices that you would recommend and Swami ji recommend for going inwards and doing those practices to be still in the moment and listen to the soul's truth?
Well, the easiest in this time especially is Japan. Recite the name of God, because that you can do anywhere at any time. And so it's something which you can bring into every aspect of your life, into every moment of your life. Because Shabda Brahma is Para Brahma. This vibration, the more you chant it, the more you recite it inwardly, the more you get into tune with that vibration, the more the truth is revealing itself. So that is for sure the easiest way.
So just reciting the God name, chanting itself is enough to be still in the moment and be connected with the divine energy and always staying in the high vibration.
Absolutely. That's a god brother of mine is always saying the only problem with Naam is that it's too simple. As you say, just chanting. People think they need to do some difficult tapasyas and vrats, but in reality, everything is in his name. Like I said, Shabda Brahma is Parabrahma, and Harinam, Harinam, Harinama Eva Kevalam. No, if you just chant the name of God, then you can realize him, because as Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, where does attachment spring forth? Attachment springs forth from contemplation of the senses to the sense objects. And Gurudev Paramahamsa Yogananda always says, as long as you are materially identified, you can't be free from attachments. So you have to change the attachment from a material attachment to the attachment to the divine. And as attachment for the material world is created by contemplation of the senses to the sense objects, what you have to change is your contemplation. So contemplate on God and you will create attachment towards God. And so simple, that attachment will free you.
So that is the only best attachment to have, attachment to the divine.
Absolutely. That will free you,
So,
because that's why you belong to.
so you said like chanting the name. People have, as per Hindu and Sanatan Dharma, we do have so many different names of the god. Somebody is worshipping Krishna, somebody is worshipping Radha, Ram, but we understand it's all one energy. So, is it okay to chant any name of the god that you believe in, or it has to be a specific chant?
Any name you feel close to, you can chant. Obviously, God is one. Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. No, there's one truth. The wise speak of it in many ways. The Rig Vedas say. Obviously, different masters, different sages have given different mantras for different times. My Gurudev has received in 2020, during COVID time, when he came back from Bharat, he was in quarantine, and he had a vision of Lord Vittala, Lord Krishna, who gave him the mantra, our Mula mantra, which he said to give to everybody, because for our time it's the most efficient one to create this intensive loving relationship with God. And he gave him the mantra, Shri Vittala Giridhari Parabrahmane Namaha. So we chant that mantra, but all the mantras have an effect. So whatever you feel close to, we in Bhakti Marga, in this path of love devotion, chant the mantra which Paramahamsa Vishwananda has received and has given us as the Mula mantra. And everybody is free to chant it, and it's obviously, with this I share it, whoever listens to it, feel free to chant it, and it's on YouTube also, hours where Guruji chants it, and yeah, in many different versions. So because it contains a lot of sweetness.
That is a beautiful mantra, and thank you for sharing this with all our audience today. And I'm sure it's going to benefit everyone. Just by listening to it, I felt that soothing and calm energies. I'm sure whoever would want to recite it, and that's the best thing, that they don't have to take Naam or certain permission to chant this mantra. It is for everyone. So
Absolutely.
thank you for yeah.
This mantra is given. Guruji specifically said to share it with everybody, because it contains Shri, the Nugraha Shakti, the grace of Mahalakshmi. Vittala is the great friend of the devotees in Maharashtra, as you might know, in Pandharpur. It's Lord Vittala, form of Krishna, and Giridhari, the protector of the devotees, and Parabrahman, the all-pervading. To that supreme, I give my reverence. And it's a really sweet mantra. Before we had the mantra Om Namo Narayanaya, which is also very powerful, very beautiful. This mantra, though, seems to have a more intimate relationship, a more sweetness.
Beautiful. I'm definitely going to try to chant it. So, like Gurudev always said, that inner discipline is more important than the outer noise. Would you like to shed some light that why it is important, and why Gurudev always emphasizes on putting focus on inner discipline? Why is that so important than going outwards?
Well, Gurudev has the beauty of having the living master, like Gurudev, is having experience first and knowledge second. So once you have the experience, things become real. You can learn many books, you can learn all the slokas and learn all the books by heart, but if you don't transform, then what's the use? Gurudev always says, knowledge is there to make you more strong on your path and to increase this love for God. If it doesn't do that, then it's of no use. It can even be counterproductive because the outward going is like an empty drum, makes a lot of noise. And as we know, pride is one of the greatest obstacles on the spiritual path. Spiritual pride is even a greater obstacle. So when you think you know, then you have already lost the plot. Because if you really know, you know that you don't know. The more things get revealed, the more you know, the more you see that it's beyond anything you could ever know. And it will make you automatically humble. It will automatically make you want to know more and go more deep within. So it's not the outside which makes a devotee. It's not how big your tilak is, how big your malas are, which clothes you're wearing. It is the purity of heart which matters. God speaks the language of intention and not of operation.
Absolutely. And you already answered my next question, because I was coming to the point where I wanted to ask about what is spiritual ego. I know a lot of people here are full of ego and pride about their job profile, their possession, wealth they hold, and so many more things. And but spiritual ego is the worst thing, because we expect kindness in the world, and that's the goal of awakened and enlightened souls, to spread more love, kindness, and oneness. So, can we shed more light about the spiritual ego and why it is not a sign of true spirituality to have that ego and showing off your knowledge and just expressing that I have read certain books and hold that kind of a knowledge?
Well, like I said before, knowledge and spirituality is there to bring a transformation and ultimately to know your true self and you know your eternal relationship with God. And that is only happening through transformation. And transformation, to know that, you have to become like the Murali, you have to become like the Bansuri, you have to become empty. And with ego, that is that which needs to be removed. And that's why bhakti is said to be the highest path, and the safest path above all, because in yoga, automatically, by practicing, you will either by accumulating knowledge, pride can arise, but also in yoga, if you practice a lot, siddhis will arise. And if you develop certain powers in any way, automatically, as much as you might pretend to stay humble, the ego is always there and it will always feed from anything. In bhakti, though, it is all about your beloved. Love is the safest, because when you're in a love relationship, you can even see it on a material level. When you are in love with somebody, truly in love with somebody, whom are you thinking of? Of the beloved. Whom you want to please? The beloved. A mother thinks of the child first, then of herself. A beloved thinks of beloved first, then of him or herself. And so the same, or similarly, it's in bhakti, it's all about the beloved and not about yourself, and that will save you from that pride, which otherwise will easily arise. And because pride is always there, unless we have transcended this material reality, ahamkara will be one of the last things which will be overcome. But by the grace of the Master and by the path of bhakti, it is quite safe to walk the path. Otherwise, we are just getting more diluted. No, we're getting pride of something which, what is there to be proud of? Krishna says, I'm the power of the powerful. I'm the intelligence of the intelligent. So who are you? What are you proud of? It's all his. Nothing belongs to you.
Absolutely beautiful and enlightening words. Um, So, Aniruddha ji, was there any turning point in your career that led you to this path? Uh, was there any moment that encouraged you to be the disciple of Gurudev, and what encouraged you to basically be on the path of spirituality?
Well, my path of spirituality, I think, was since always there. Since a child, I always had these questions that were automatically there. Who am I? Why am I here? Just nobody could give me answers. And the search went on different paths with different experiences, traveling the world, till I reached or got in touch more and more with the yoga science. And when I traveled in India, the first time in 2004, uh, living in an ashram, getting to know about the Bhagavad Gita, the life of saints, the autobiography of Yogananda, Paramahamsa Yogananda, Kriya Yoga, and just meeting different sages, different saints, and seeing more and more that everything what I'm looking for and what my inner call is contained in this holy science of Sanatan Dharma, of the Bhagavad Gita, because it speaks about life. And Mahavatar Babaji, Kriya Yoga, Bhakti, the saints, it was always something which was like a red thread which followed me. And then when I came back from India, I met a lady who lived in India for 12 years with her guru. And she showed me pictures, and there was an image of Paramahamsa Vishwananda. And when I saw him, she told me her experiences with him. And immediately I felt a deep call of meeting him. And then 4 years later, when I met him, it's when you meet your Sadguru, it is different than when you meet any guru. And by meeting him, the blessing I got from him, something was ignited. That's the difference between a true master, true Sadguru, and any guru, because we have many gurus in our life. The Sadguru can give you direct experience and not just knowledge. And in his presence, something deeply in my heart, in my soul was ignited, which I cannot deny. And from there onwards, I just wanted to investigate more. And the search has finished there. The quest was finishing there, and the true journey started from there about 17 years ago. And I'm grateful for every second I could spend in the presence of Gurudev.
That's quite a long time, 17 years in this journey. So I'm sure you can share a lot of wisdom and guidance on the people for the people who are just beginning on this path. So what is the common mistake people make while they're trying to meditate and connect to that energy?
A common mistake is having expectations.
They're trying to seek something out of it.
Exactly. Everybody wants to see something, wants to feel something, and it's not about that. It's especially now in the path of Bhakti, in Bhakti Marg, it is about the love relationship with God. And even we're practicing Atma Kriya Yoga, which is Kriya Yoga like it was taught by Babaji, but infused with Bhakti. It is all about increasing this love relationship with God, where love for the sake of loving, serving or for the sake of serving, and not for any outcome. And because anything we can imagine is limited. And we get so stuck on, oh, we have felt this, we have seen this. Yeah, if you see something, you feel something, enjoy it. It's nice. But again, don't get attached to it, don't get stuck to it, because it's not even a glimpse or a drop of what is there still to discover and what he truly wants to reveal. So just be present, enjoy, especially, like I said, in our tradition, every sadhana is to increase this connection with God. Increase your time with your beloved. Enjoy the time with the beloved. It's not about what you see, what you feel. It's just about enjoying his eternal presence. And that's it.
So, like you said, Atma Yoga Kriya, can you shed more light on this Yoga Kriya? How can people join this? Is it for anybody? Is this available online? How can one be part of the program?
Anybody can learn about Atma Kriya Yoga. It is, like I said, a full yoga system, which includes japam, pranayamas, meditations, mudras, and above all, in the end, the practitioner receives Shaktipat, which is the transfer of the grace of the Guru lineage and the Kriya Shakti, which is infused. It's a course normally lasts for a weekend. There's people also can do the course online and then receive the Shaktipat in presence by Gurudev himself or a teacher whom he initiated to act as an instrument for the Shaktipat. Gurudev has just in February, he has done a course not in February, now in the United States, in New York, upstate New York, in our ashram, in Elmira. He has done the Soul Awakening program where he himself taught it after almost 20 years again and gave the Shaktipat also. He will do it again. There is many teachers around the world, so you can easily find out on bhaktimarga.org or bhaktimarga.us or in India also in Bhakti Bharat. So it's available for everybody, and it is truly one of the greatest gifts I have received, and I invite everybody to discover it, because really with a little bit of time, with a little bit of goodwill and a little bit of space, you can do the journey, the 40 centimeters journey. What is the true journey from here to here? That is what the true journey is, because Atma Kriya Yoga, the true purpose of it is to establish the eternal love relationship with God. Not self-realization, but God-realization. And everything else is just a side effect of the practice. And yeah, that's...
So what is Shaktipat? Like, what does that mean? Can you shed more light on that?
Shaktipat, one sense of Shaktipat means descent of grace, where the Kriya Shakti is given to the practitioner. Like I said, the grace of Mahavatar Babaji, Paramahamsa Vishwananda, and the whole Kriya lineage, as well as Kriya Shakti herself, which is one form of the Divine Mother, is infused. And with every breath you're moving this energy up and down your subtle body, your spinal column, the Shushumna Nadi, etc. And you do basically just your practice. It is like the key which makes the practice bring the full fruits. It is, you do your practice and they do the actual work. When you do your practice, the masters are there, the Divine Mother is there, and she does the actual work. You do your part. In some sense, Gurudev once said, in reality, yes, it does. All this karma is being burned, all those things are happening, all this purification, that the 9 forms, the Navada Bhakti, are being nourished. But you should not worry about that. In reality, in essence, what you're doing as a practitioner is, when you practice, you're showing God that you're interested in Him, and He, by His grace, is doing everything else.
So, like we all know, humans are born so pure. Everybody is born enlightened. If you look at kids, when we touch them and hold them, they just smell so beautiful and pure, just like a flower. And we all have an instinct, inner knowing, gut feeling. And as we grow older and older and get attached to the worldly pleasures, it starts to dim. So, for the people who are not able to join Shaktipat, what advice and guidance would you like to give it to people based on your long spiritual journey and career? What practices they should follow to connect to themselves, have that instinct and inner knowing the truth of themselves?
Well, like I said before, the easiest, do japam. Do japam, that will automatically transform. What else you can do? Many things. Start with positive thinking, be grateful. Practice gratitude for life, gratitude for whatever. Keep good association. Be in satsang as much as possible. Try to be in the presence of devotees. And if you have any chance to be in the presence of Gurudev, of the Master, use it, because that is the greatest blessing what you can have, to be in the physical presence of the Sadguru. So good association, positive thinking, divine thinking. And yeah, I think with that you have a good recipe, which you can again apply to anything. You can obviously study. Take, for example, Bhagavad Gita, very simple, very short, but contains everything what you need to know. It's a manual for life. And the main thing is, are you willing to change? That is the main question, because the spiritual path is a path, it's not an easy path, because changes and transformation is not always easy. The path of love is even more dangerous, because the love of God consumes everything. But if you really want it, then there's no way you're not going to attain it. But Gurudev always says it's like a diamond which you find in nature. When you find a diamond in nature, it is just a raw carmen stone. And then it needs to be polished and go through purification, that it becomes a beautiful stone which shines in all different lights, and everybody is mesmerized by it. So he says, everybody wants to be a diamond, but nobody wants to be polished. And
You
that's
have
how
to
it
go
is.
through a certain process to
Exactly.
get polished.
Because the Mutramantan, the churning of the ocean, is happening, and if you're ready for it, then the grace will flow. A very simple example is like, the grace is like the water faucet where water is just running. That's the grace which is running, and we are underneath like a glass which is upside down. What we have to do is basically just turn the glass around and be ready to receive. That is our part, what we have to do, a willingness.
Beautiful. So, one message that you would like to give for all our audience for the global peace, because there are so many natural calamities are happening, for the oneness, like for loving everything, nature, animal, birds, how we can create this Mother Earth more beautiful and bring more peace globally.
Well, it's very simple. Come peace. It's very, everybody goes on the road with a big sign screaming for peace somewhere else in the world, but they have fights at home and fights within themselves. So first, solve the war within yourself and in your environment. Make peace with yourself, make peace around yourself, and then you will automatically bring peace to this world. Love yourself and love the people around you, and automatically you will bring more love to this world. Discover this light, what you are, and see it more and more around you, and more you will bring light in this world. It's very simple.
Thank you so much for sharing your light, wisdom. You're such an elevated soul, and I'm already feeling uplifted to continue on this spiritual journey. And I hope that we are able to inspire so many more to make this Mother Earth more beautiful, green, and peaceful. Thank
I
you.
hope
God
so too.
bless.
And I want to invite everybody in the United States. Gurudev will come in May of 2026. He will tour around in different places. So if you're interested in meeting him, I would highly recommend it to you. And yeah, feel free to say.
Absolutely. And I would be honored to spread the word and be in touch with your team to meet Gurudev, as I'm based in Ohio and I travel between Ohio and New York. So would be my pleasure, honor to seek blessing of Gurudev and
Please
encourage
come,
more people.
please meet, and please come and visit the ashram also in Elmira, in upstate New York, and anywhere. You're most welcome. With pleasure. Maybe we meet one day.
Yes, absolutely. Would be an honor. Thank you so much.